Hello, viewers. This is Sentai Michael from Screamy bringing you a new podcast for myself called The Super Sentai Review. And like always, I'm going to speak very loudly, very clearly, and very slowly, in case you don't understand me. Also, try to do my best not to break your heart during this audio podcast recording as well, not to cause any audio feedback as well. And finally, if you're under 18, this audio podcast recording will attain to adult language. Once again, if you're under 18, this audio podcast recording will attain to adult language if you're under 18. Now, if you're over 18, then you need to get to watch this audio podcast recording. So anyway, with this everything else at the way, let's get into the latest episode of King-Ohger. So basically, this episode starts off like when it left off in the previous episode. The Grasshopper Zord showed up. The final God Zord, being the Grasshopper Zord, showed up out of the sky and landed on a monster and destroyed it. So basically, after it did that, and it hopped away, looking for something, and looking around outside the Sugaring Kingdom, and basically, and hopped away. So anyway, a lot of people, the Sugaring people believe that Garen is dead after seeing the footage of King Rattless, basically striking Garen down into the chasm. So basically, Banta and Garen's friend Banta and Gome believes that Garen is dead and whatnot. So anyway, meanwhile, somewhere in a cave somewhere, the other King-Ohgers was telling Garen that you need to stay put, for a while and let people believe you're dead. That way, we could figure out what is the motive of what is the true motive of Reckless and the Bugwa wants with the Sugaring treasure. So basically, they want Garen to stay put, and until they can figure out what the bad guys and his brother Reckless want with the Sugaring treasure. So anyway, Garen agreed, and basically Hemo was like you, I noticed that even though you managed to buy the fall from the like even though you managed to buy the fall from the canyon, from the chasm, you should be your wounds are pretty minor. So basically, I saw Reckless hit you with that final attack. So basically, he could have killed you with that final attack, and so basically, and that's when Garen realized that Reckless hold back on when Reckless did his final attack with his sword morpher, he hold back on the attack and just tapped him, and an explosion to send Garen flying down the chasm. So basically, Reckless hold back on killing Garen during the duel. So anyway, Garen agreed with the others to stay put until they could figure out what the bad guys and his brother wants with the Sugaring treasure. So meanwhile, back at the castle, Reckless ordered the kings, ordered Dugo, the head of the Sugaring King-Ohger, to go find, Garen's body, but to find Garen's body and to bring him back to him. At the bad guys' hideout, at the Bugwa, who are the bad guys, Emperor Dekla and the Prime Minister, Commogen heard that the Grasshopper finally showed up, and so basically now finally that all three of the gods are finally showed up now. It's time to put my plan into motion and take down the Rangers and their nations once and for all. all. So anyway, so anyway, so basically, meanwhile, outside the cave, Himo, Yama, Kaguraga, and Rita agreed to make sure to keep Given safe and from the bad guys and his brother King Reckless until they can figure out what the bad guys and his brother Reckless want for the sugar and treasure and Given's power. So anyway, they all agreed and they went their separate ways. But turns out each of them contacted their servants. So basically they told their Yama called his servant, Mosuke, Kaguraga called his master Kata, Himo called her butler servant Sebastian, and Rita, called, her servant Martha, and they told the servants to try to convince Given to come back to, their nations. That way we can have Given. So each of them just want Given for himself. So basically, they're ordering the servants to convince Given to come back to their nations. So basically, once that happened, all the Bugwa forces, all the foot soldiers started to attack each of the 5 nations. So basically, the Rangers went to go deal with the foot soldiers attacking their nations and left their servants to try to convince Given to come to their nations. So anyway, Martha was stuck at the Goki Nation, so basically, Shino, Sebastian, and Kata went back to the cave and tried to convince Given to go back to their nation. So basically, Sebastian suggests that, come back to Savannah, we got the best medical technology there and whatnot. So basically, Sebastian contacted, Himo, who was fighting some foot soldiers, and said it's not safe right now to bring Given to Isabella right now. So basically, that's when Shino, who is Yama's servant, commits Given to come to to Neo Sofa. So basically, Given and the other servants went to Neo Sofa, and Himo was fitted off the last of the foot soldiers, and that's when Deathfire showed up, and she ended up fighting Deathfire, the leader of the Bugwa. So anyway, when Given and the servants got to Neo Sofa, the castle, the Neo Sofa castle was surrounded by guards from the Sugar Nation. So basically, Shino contacted Yama that the Sugar guards are guarding the castle. I can't get Given in. Even though Given was in disguise, he couldn't get Given inside the castle because of the guards from children. So basically, Yama, who was fighting some foot soldiers, said, "Well, right now things are crazy right now here. So basically, you need to take them somewhere else." So basically, that's what Kata suggests. Suggest to take Given to the Tofu Mason. So basically, they headed to the Tofu Mason, and Yama, that's what showed up and started to fight Yama. So anyway, at the Tofu Nation, we see we see Kagawaka talking to Wackless, and like and Wackless say, "Have you found Garrett's body? Do you have you find or have Garrett's body?" And Kagawaka said, "What? What will I do with Garrett's body? No, I have not found Garrett's body, or have or have Garrett's body." So basically, Kagura was lying and whatnot. So basically, and that's when Kagura started to start to say, I heard a rumor, I heard a strange rumor. So basically, in the previous episode, Kagura was sneaking around the Shigerin Castle and found something shocking. We don't know what it is, but turns out Kaguraga saw a golden King-Ohger Megazord inside the castle. So basically, telling us that Wackless is making his own golden version of the King-Ohger Megazord. It's inside the castle. So basically, Kagura said, I heard that you might have your own personal King-Ohger Megazord somewhere in the castle. And Wackless said, who? Oh, well, whoever told you that was lying. So if I did have my own personal King-Ohger Megazord somewhere in the castle, I would have been told the rest of the King-Ohgers about it, and Reckless left. So basically, that's when the Footers started to attack, and Kaguraga, went to go deal with the Foot Soldiers and whatnot. So basically, outside. So basically, Gary and the servants came to Tofu and saw Wackless leaving the Tofu Nation, and basically, Kaga, who is, Kaga was talking to Kaguraga that we spotted Wackless, and basically we went to do with Girin, and he said that right now things are crazy right now, so take him somewhere else, take him to another nation. So anyway, and that's when Martha, who is Rita's servant, finally showed up and placed Garrett on the rest and took him back to the Goshi Nation. So where Rita was fighting a bunch of foot soldiers in the Goki Nation. So basically, they're inside the castle they're inside the Goki Castle where Garrett is in handcuffs and whatnot. Martha has given sword morpher or this the caliber sword morpher, so basically Martha has given in handcuffs. She has given caliber morpher in her hands inside the Goki Castle while Rita was fighting a bunch of foot soldiers outside. And basically once Rita was done with the foot soldiers, Defra showed up and Rita ended up fighting Defra. So basically, inside the castle, Given said, I know, idiot. I know what you guys are trying to do. So basically, I can't believe you guys it's pretty obvious that, you guys are ordered by the others to try to bring you to your nations and keep me to yourself. So basically, even though after your masters agreed to work together to keep me safe. So basically, the servants felt kind of guilty that that they're hoping their masters go against their word and whatnot. And basically, some of the footers start to go monster-sized, and basically, Rita was still busy fighting Defra, and basically, they had no choice, but Martha had no choice but to let Given go and let it and deal with the giant monster with the King-Ohger Megazord. So basically, Garen morphed up, summoned the King-Ohger Megazord to battle the giant monsters, and that's when the Grasshopper Zord showed up. So, showed up, and basically Garen was talking to the Grasshopper Zord. Turns out the Grasshopper Zord was looking for the Scorpion Zord and the Rhino Beetle Zord. So basically, giving me the deal with so basically giving me the deal with the Grasshopper Sword that, if you help me out with these giant foot soldiers, I tell you which way the Scorpions and Rhino Beetles went. So basically the Grasshopper Sword combined with the King-Ohger Megazord and formed the armored King-Ohger Megazord. So basically, the Grasshopper Sword basically became a giant chess piece, or a giant chess piece, and some of the parts attached to the legs, and basically the King-Ohger was able to hop very fast and was able to jump high and whatnot, and basically took down the giant foot soldiers. So basically, after the Grasshopper Zord helped Garen, Garen told which direction that the Scorpions and Rhino Beetles went, and basically the Grasshopper was very thankful for giving keeping his word. So anyway, Rishi morphed looking for Rita, and he found Rita all beat up against to Deathwa. So basically, Galen went back to the Goki Castle and found Kuda, Kagura servant Kuda, Shino, Yama servant, and Sebastian, he must have all beat up by Deathwa. So basically, Deathwa said, "Oh yes, you're still alive. So basically, this is a good day. This was a good day to me. I was about to go to the Chicken Nation and go beat your butt up. So for killing you, but since you're alive, I'm gonna catch you." So basically, Garen, that's why it's about to catch with Garen, and basically, as for the other rangers, they will beat up. They were each of their nation all beat up from. As for the other three rangers, they were all beat up by fighting Deathfly. So basically, Deathfly said once my five giant paws hatch, once five giant monster paws hatch at each of the five nations, I'm gonna seek each of the five nations to the ground and take over their resources. So basically. That's what want to sink each of the five nations underground and take their resources. So basically, to take their resources for himself and whatnot. And basically, the episode ended with all the cute, seeing the 4 out of the 5 King-Ohgers, defeated, and Garen is about to get captured, and basically this is how the episode ended, with Garen about to get captured by Deathla, and the other Rangers defeated and the giant monster pods are about to hatch to destroy each of the nations and take the nations to the underground and basically that's how the episode ended on that note. So anyway, this was a good solid episode. So basically, this was it had some good comedy and some good high stakes. It had a good balance between comedy and drama. So anyway, this was a solid good episode. So anyway, what do you guys think about this episode? Good, bad, or just okay? Please let me know. Anyway, sign you up and screw you views. One.